because they were confused and helpless like sheep or like sheep without a shepherd. He said to his disciples, the harvest is great, but the workers are few. Verse 38. So this is your responsibility. You pray to the Lord who is in charge. You are not in charge. The Lord is in charge. But your responsibility is to pray to the Lord of the harvest, okay, and ask him to send more workers into the field. I actually found my find and the TPT translation very interesting. Let me read it with care. The TPT translation read is that he saw the vast crowd of people. Jesus' heart was deeply moved with compassion because they seemed weary and helpless, like wandering sheep without a shepherd. He turned to his disciples and said, the harvest is huge and ripe. I love thy word. The harvest is not only huge, but the harvest is also ripe. But there are not enough harvesters to bring in all of them or to bring them all in. As you go, plead with the owner of the harvest to trust out many more rivers. The harvest is great. And I want to add just one more Bible passage from the book of Jude. Jude has only one chapter. Let's read verse 22. Jude, verse 32. Jude, verse 22. I'm reading from the King James Version. The King James Version, Jude 32. And some have compassion, making a difference. And some, not all, not many. And some have compassion, making a difference. And some, King James, have compassion, making a difference. The theme of our anniversary for this year is actually the ready field or ready fields. And this is highly intentional because of the way God is leading us in this season in our ministry or at this point in the journey of our ministry. I want to begin this morning by saying, inarguably, Jesus remains the most dominant figure in all of human history. Inarguably, this is not something we can even debate. Inarguably, Jesus remained the most dominant leader, the most dominant figure in all of human history. And his impact is unrivaled among renowned leaders. The impact of Jesus on planet Earth, okay, is so dominant to the degree, that no one can, can contest or can compete with what Jesus has done. We can throw a few names in there. We can throw a few non-leaders in there. We can throw a few impactful names of leaders in there. We can throw the name of Mahatma Gandhi in there. We can throw the name of Martin Luther King Jr. in there. Some of you remember the beautiful story of our very own Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Margaret Thatcher, and so on and so forth. But the reality is that none of these names even come close to Jesus when it comes to the impact that Jesus made in human society. And that we certainly wondering what was so remarkable about Jesus. What did Jesus do that made him, to stand out when it comes to his impact and transformation in human society? And I found the answer in this text, in this scripture that we just read. I'm going to share a pretty thought with you in less than 10 minutes, and then we're getting ready, to close. Number one, from the text we just read, verse 36. Verse 36 of Matthew chapter 9 reads, it said, when he saw the crowds, speaking about Jesus, when Jesus saw the crowd, he didn't see tithes and offering. When Jesus saw the crowd, he didn't see a people he was planning to manipulate. When Jesus saw the crowd, he didn't see a people that he wanted, to break wash. That was not his mission. When Jesus saw the crowd, his plan was not to take undue advantage of that. When he saw the crowd, he didn't see like we see today. He didn't see a mega church. When he saw the crowd, the Bible said that the first thing that happened in the heart of Jesus was that Jesus had compassion. That is so critical. Jesus had compassion. He saw the crowd. The first thing, that came up in his heart was not how to do business with that. When he saw the crowd, the Bible said he had compassion on the crowd. I don't want to go into the Nigerian stuff. I think it was John C. Maxwell who said that it is possible to love a people without leading them, but it is impossible to lead a people without loving them. So in a nation, we can clearly see that the greatest problem that we have today is that we have leaders who are not filled with a heart of compassion for the people. In the former administration, you hear words like, I am not aware. That word, they keep coming up over and over. I'm not aware. I'm not aware. And here we are, in another dispensation, another administration where let's live by Jesus. Let's live by Jesus for the Lord. So from the text, we can clearly see that compassion drives impact. Number one, compassion drives impact. Compassion drives transformation. Without compassion, there's none of us seated here who can do anything meaningful, anything impactful in the lives of other people. My mother said, and I quote, my mother said that when we are dead and gone, he said, well, if you remember for two things. Number one, the problems we solve and the one we create. So the critical question at this point is, what will you be remembered for? Will you be remembered for the problem that you solve in the lives of people? Or will you remember for the problems that you create? So there's nobody, there's no leader. It doesn't matter, how you try to twist and, and bury the systems to work for you. If you don't have a heart of compassion, it is impossible to make a difference in human society. Doesn't matter, how many hours you pray in a day. So the obsession to own a mega truck without a focus for genuine transformation is nothing but deception. It doesn't matter, how large our churches are. If we do not return back to the basic, if we do not return back to the things that made Jesus the most renowned, the most dominant figure in all of human history, we will not be able to fulfill the scripture that Jesus himself made mention of before he left planet Earth. He said, I'm about to exit the sea. And he said, we will do greater works than he did. And the reason, we are saying that most churches today are not able to do the greater work that Jesus even made mention of is because we're disconnected from our role as a result of not having a heart of compassion for the people. What is compassion, quickly? What is compassion? I know we all have different meaning, but I just want to add one more definition to what you already know. What is compassion? According to the book of 1 John chapter 3, verse 7, let me quickly read this here, Hillary, from the King James Version. 1 John 3, verse 17. The book of 1 John 3, verse 17. The Bible declares that, but whoso hath this world's good and see his brother had need and shutteth, King James Version, and shutteth up his bowel of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of God in him? Now, in the Greek and in the, but I said, I won't say the word, in the Greek and in the Hebrew word, compassion is said to be, in the Hebrew and Greek word, to be like the womb that contracts while the mother is about to give birth to a child. So compassion is likened to the woman's womb, who is ready to give birth. Meaning that there are two critical aspects or two components of compassion. Number one, compassion identifies a need. Compassion moves you to identify a need in human society. The Bible said Jesus saw the crowd, but he did not have any conversation with the crowd. As soon as they saw the crowd, he began to have conversation with his disciples, talking to his disciples, those already mature in the kingdom, on the need to solve a problem of human society and not ignore it. So Jesus identified a problem. And the second component of compassion, which is the most important, is that it is not enough to only identify a need. You move to the next level by doing something about it. Until you have done something about the need that is identified, it cannot be said that you had compassion. If all you have done or if all you did was to only identify that need without doing something about it. So compassion moves us to do two things: identify a need and then to be moved to do something about it. Number two, my tie is already a fast spend. Number two, number one, I said that compassion drives transformation. Compassion drives transformation. Number two, compassion requires participation and not spectatorship. Compassion requires participators. Compassion requires participator. Jesus clearly said in the book of Matthew chapter 9 verse 37 where we read, he said to his disciples, the harvest is great, the harvest is great, the harvest is great, the harvest is great, but the workers are few. The harvest is great, but the workers are few. Meaning that we don't have any problem with the harvest. The problem that exists way back then, and even in the time of David, is not a problem, of the harvest. The harvest, have never been a problem. The problem has always been more workers. As it was way back then, so it is today. Jesus said the problem is not with the harvest. The problem has always been, with people to participate, with people to get involved, with people, to walk in getting, the harvest in. Jesus said that that's where the problem lies. And as I round up today, that's what I really want us, to focus on. If follow me, pray, and I leave this space. Jesus said, that the harvest is great. The harvest is great.